Alright, so next up we have that staple of current WWE programming, a Divas tag match. Callum made the point the other day, and I agree with him. Are there any Divas singles matches on television anymore? I don't think so. Why not? Divas tag matches, like Callum said, are awful because they always involve at least one diva who is fucking gash. We have Eve Torres and Melina take on Michelle McCool and Layla. JR keeps talking about how Eve Torres has improved. Yes, she has improved. That wouldn't have been hard because she was appalling. Last week, she beat Natalya by hitting the worst moonsault I have ever seen. Easily. She didn't even hit Natalya. This woman is rubbish, and Layla is much worse. The only good thing about this to start with was the fact that the Divas actually got to make individual entrances with their own theme music for once, which is, you know, a sign of respect. I find it really disrespectful to women's wrestling that they never get to come out to their own music and they always have to come out together. I find that if men don't have to do it, women shouldn't have to do it either. This starts off with Melina and Layla. Melina proceeds to hit the worst hip toss I've ever seen. A fucking bad hip toss. Really? To Layla. Eve tags in and hits a very odd, it was like a scoop slam, but it was like a falling slam. It was rubbish. But then does hit a semi-acceptable drop kick, bizarrely. McCool tags in and hits 3 nice, vicious, stiff, direct knees to the head and then a leg drop. McCool isn't that great, but looked good in this match, I thought. Quite good. And then Todd Grisham, fucking moron, says, "If only Layla could be as good in the ring as she is a dancer." No! If Layla was as good in the ring as she was a dancer, she'd be roughly as good as the great Khali. She is the worst dancer I have ever seen. She looks like she's having a seizure. I could probably dance better than that. Well, maybe not, but Todd, if you're not going to say something that isn't completely moronic, shut the fuck up. Prick. Melina hits some nice offense. She hits a boot to the face into the splits. Melina is okay. I think she's pretty sloppy. The reason Melina gets pushed is because she has a gimmick. She's incredibly bendy. So she hits it into the split and then goes for... Melina is quite lucky as a diva in that she has 2 finishers, whereas most divas don't even have one. And she goes for the finisher, which is the inverted DDT position into the splits leg drop thing. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what either of her finishers are called. But McCool runs in to stop her and hits a very nice high boot to the face. Very stiff, looked like it hurt a lot. McCool's striking offense is quite good. And then McCool goes for the Faith Breaker on Melina. But Melina counters into that sort of other finisher, that sunset flip powerbomb thing. And actually, it was quite a decent ending sequence to this match. This match was nowhere near as bad as it should have been. It was actually alright. If you ignore Layla, then it wasn't great, but I was surprised because I was expecting it to be truly diabolical, and it wasn't. Then we have a Josh Matthews backstage segment, hooray, with CM Punk, who says that he considered Hardy's victory at Night of Champions to be an upset, and he says he finds it hard to consider the better man to be someone that lives Hardy's lifestyle. And then he says, "I'm not preaching, but," and then continues to do a very preachy promo where he says he wishes everyone was straight edge like him, and he says Jeff Hardy likes to live in the moment, so he should enjoy this moment because it won't last long, and he wishes good luck to both of the competitors in the main event tonight because he'll be taking on the winner. This promo was a bit pointless, really. Just reaffirming Punk as a heel, basically. Then we had a tag match, which, again, a bit like the Divas match, was a match that wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination, but was better than it would have looked on paper. Dolph Ziggler and Mike Knox take on Rey Mysterio and Finlay. And JR said something about Finlay losing recently and said not even a Guinness could make the taste of that loss go away for Finlay, which was some horrendous stereotyping, but it really made me want a fucking pint of Guinness, and I was like, fuck you, JR! We start off with Ziggler and Mysterio, which is not what I was expecting. This is quite good, you know, they're quite good in the ring with one another. Mysterio hits a nice head scissor, and then he tags Mike Knox in, and Mike Knox proceeds to do the best thing I've ever seen Mike Knox do, but it wasn't really good because Mike Knox made it good. He hits a crossbody on Rey Mysterio, and because Mike Knox is really big and Rey Mysterio is really small, it was actually quite vicious, quite high impact. It dropped Mysterio right on the back of his head, and I was like, wow, that's better than I was expecting. Mysterio goes for a Hurricane Rana, which Knox lifts him back up to counter, but then Mysterio just does it anyway. I didn't really understand that sequence, and he puts Knox in the 619 position, and I've written here that he hits him with the 619. I can't remember exactly what happens here. My notes are a bit muddy, but we move on to have Finlay and Knox in the ring, which should be terrible, and was almost terrible, but not quite. And then there was a moment where Finlay puts Knox into that sort of fireman's carry Samoan drop position, and does that rollover thing that he does, and the commentators were acting as if this was incredible. Am I supposed to be surprised that a big, stocky man like Finlay can lift up Mike Knox? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised on any level by that. Finlay's on the turnbuckle, and Knox bicycle kicks him off it. I love the bicycle kick. It's one of my favourite rudimentary basic manoeuvres. Sheamus does it better at the moment than Mike Knox, but it's nice to see it. Then Finlay gets dominated for quite a while, which was good because Finlay's rubbish. And then, again, Grisham, fuck off. He says something like, JR, do you think that Mike Knox could be the next breakout superstar? And JR says yes, and he's blatantly lying through his teeth, because anyone in their right mind can see that Mike Knox will never, ever, in a million years, be the next breakout superstar. Ziggler tags in, hits a nice high elevation splash to the corner and some good high elevation elbow drops. Basic maneuvers, but Ziggler understands that these maneuvers need elevation. Some people just don't get that, and his elevation is good. Mysterio tags in and hits a seated senton on Ziggler, and hits the 619 and the frog splash, but Knox breaks the count. And then Ziggler goes for he's setting up Finlay for his finisher, but Mysterio rolls him up for the win. This was alright. Not bad. Mysterio and Finlay getting the win over Knox and Ziggler. It's alright. Then we get backstage segment again with Josh Matthews, this time with John Morrison, to ask if he's prepared for Jeff Hardy. I love John Morrison, he's so good, but his promo is not good. His promo is pretty dire. Not as bad as Jeff Hardy, nowhere near as bad as Jeff Hardy, but not good. Morrison congratulates Jeff Hardy. Callum was raging that face Morrison has to suck up to Hardy like that, which I found quite funny. He says something like, the energy from our match tonight will spark a blaze over the entire WWE universe. And says that Hardy's the one that usually takes all the risks, but tonight John Morrison is the man with nothing to lose and everything to gain. And then says the title is leaving the Hardy party and coming home to the Palace of Wisdom. Can you hear yourself, John? This is bad. Say something that makes sense. And then something horrible happened. I thought we were actually going to get a week without the Great Khali. No R-Truth this week. R-Truth, who is great, but we have to see the Great Khali take on Charlie Haas, the biggest jobber in the company, pretty much. This was possibly the most vicious squash match I've ever seen. Not quite, but it was horrible. I mean, really horrible. This was really, really bad. I can't believe we have to put up with this absolute oaf as a face. Charlie Haas probably shouldn't be a total jobber. He is quite good. But the booking of it was terrible. Haas is a mat wrestler. That's his point. He's a skilled mat wrestler. But he tries striking offense on someone as big as Khali. That was just stupid. That makes Haas look like a total moron. Haas gets totally dominated, and Kane comes into the ring, looks ready to fight, but then exits and grabs Ranjin Singh. and Khali leaves the ring to pursue. And I thought, alright, Kane's going to cause the Great Khali to lose by countout. That makes sense. No, this match just didn't finish. Nothing happened. Khali didn't get counted out. For some reason, the bell never rang. It just stopped. The cameras went off. What the fuck is this? If you're going to have a match, have it finish. Gee, boss. Alright, turn over to part 3, guys, and hopefully I will have calmed down.